This week's question comes from Pick from Auburn, Indiana. Roger, I love watching your show. I've had good success calling to deer in November. How early can and should I start calling deer for success? All right, Pick, thanks for that question. That's a good one. You know, early on in my hunting career, I caught a lucky break. About 1990, I started working with a deer call company. Now, back then, there were very few deer call companies, and in fact, there were very few hunters that were actually trying to call to deer. But it was the people that made the hands-free calls. Now, to this day, I'm still using them, all right? I really like them because they just hang around your neck and they're right there, accessible to you. Well, if no other reason than by trial and error, I started experimenting and I started using my calls more. And I was amazed at how many nice bucks I called in September and early October to bow range and run an arrow through them, all right? It was amazing. Now, what's going on in the whitetail community that time of year? Well, bucks are establishing their pecking orders, just starting to make the first rubs and leaving their scent out there. They're curious, and they want to know what is in their area and what other bucks are in their area because the competition was on. So what I would do, and I still do it, I just use a few little short grunts. A different deer is in the area, and they don't come charging in, they just kind of come slipping in, all right? Ever so casual. It's an important part of the rut, that aspect, what's going on in the early season, establishing the pecking orders, establishing their areas. Well, our biggest selling tape of all time was the rut. All right? Now, we talk about this extensively in that VHS tape. Now, it's no longer available, but you can go to our website, rogerraglin.com, and in the membership area, you can watch that in its entirety, along with a lot of other classic tapes. There's some good stuff there for you to see. But that's an important time for the deer, but it's not a real aggressive time, so I don't get aggressive with my calls. Now, as we move on later and the bucks start getting ruddier, I always lead with a doe call. I kind of pitch it up and let it fall out. Over here, Harry. And then I follow it with little quick short grunts. A little bit more aggressive. And I want the bucks in the area to think that there's another buck that's with a doe. Now then is when they may come charging in and things can really get exciting. But heck, using your deer calls early season right on through the entire fall, I guarantee you it will make you more successful if you use them. The key is you got to put them in your mouth and you got to blow on them and you got to stay after it and not give up, because it doesn't work every time, but when it does, you'll be glad you got them, all right?